So again, thanks for being with us today.
Pleasure.
I'll start off by just asking, how did you get into the industry itself?
So growing up as a kid, my dad was a big businessman, and like he was pushing me into like doctor, into medicine, law, business. So I was doing like bilingual sales. I was just going back and forth at Ryerson, Laurier, and then I finally went to culinary school in 2010
Mhm.
because I was always obsessed with food, but I didn't think I could make it like a reality, like a career. And finally, like when I went to George Brown, I ended up at the Food Dudes of all places as well, doing my internship, and the rest is history. I never
And
thought I could make a career like doing something I was super passionate about, to be honest.
that's awesome.
And I was struggling with like stats, economics, accounting, all that. And then I went to culinary school and I started writing essays on clarified butter. And I started like researching internal temperatures of meat, and like everything just changed for me right away.
So why food? What drives you every day towards food?
Honestly, like certain people, they love certain things. Like food takes my breath away. And why I love cooking is because when I eat at certain places and when I try certain chefs, their hand, if I can recreate that for someone and take them on that journey and transport them somewhere else, then it's the best thing ever. So it's a beautiful way to nurture people. But I don't know why food, music, like these are just two things that they take my breath away consistently over and over and over again. And I love to share it as well. I don't know why food, but when I'm eating breakfast, I'm thinking about lunch, dinner, and the following breakfast.
I know.
Always,
That was how I was too growing up. It's
always.
like, you're eating breakfast, what's for lunch? Lunch is happening, what's for dinner,
It's also like food is also like a beautiful vehicle to like take care of someone, doing for others. It's a beautiful thing.
That's
is.
funny. It's how I describe it as well. I'm naturally a nurturing person, and I always want to take care of people. And I just love the fact that it brings everyone together. It doesn't matter what your culture is, what your race is. It just naturally unifies everybody. And yeah, that's just how I've always described it. But that's awesome. So that being said, you kind of made that switch over. How did you start the Chef Dev at home? Is that what it's called? Is it Chef Dev or Chef Devon?
Chef Dev at home. How that started. So I did a month in Turks and Caicos. For January, February, I traveled to India. I went to Pakistan. I went to London. I came back home March 15th and was doing a quarantine for 2 weeks. And 5 days later, on March 20th, I was doing mac and cheese while I was home. I was doing like craft dinner, and I was jazzing it up. I was jazzing up Shin Ramyun instant noodles, and people kept asking and asking for the recipes. So I did that craft dinner video, which is actually pretty interesting because I graded like $40 worth of truffle on top of it because I thought I had to make it really exciting. But as the episodes went on, I'm just trying to make it way more attainable and way easier. So I've learned so much, and like I'm growing, and it's an interesting progression. The second video was instant noodles remixed as well, and then I thought, why not just start cooking? There's other pantry staples where you can actually cook, like chickpeas, hummus, kidney beans, rajma, all that stuff. So that's what I started doing.
That's awesome. So, we keep seeing the rise of food service in regards to the delivery and takeout. But now people are making less money and they're actually learning to cook from home. Like usually people do the quick takeout or they get the ready meals at the grocery store.
Right.
So now that people really don't have that option, they're learning to cook from home. Do you think there's going to be a transition in the industry because of that?
What do you mean by transition? Do you mean
Like,
transition to people just not
yeah,
eating
like
out and
more
taking out as
people
much?
are going to take this on, So when things hopefully get back to normal, do you think people are going to, not do takeout, not do restaurants, but actually cook from home more frequently?
I feel like once people can finally go out and start eating at restaurants again, they're probably gonna go. But it's not just food in terms of skill sets that people are learning all kinds of stuff at home. And with my videos, the whole thing is to encourage people to like learn how to cook and step outside their comfort zone. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure people are still going to do takeout. I love takeout. I do Cali sandwiches once a week. I had Federic's chicken pakora yesterday.
Yeah.
Pizza Nova last week. Like it's nonstop over here. But I
Mhm.
think people will be more inclined to cook at home. I've had so many people tell me that they've become such good cooks at home just by watching every single video. I try to do like as much tips and tricks as I can in there. And I always like filming Cityline, I always try to treat it like you have to like pretend like that person watching has no idea anything about cooking. So I explain everything. But I think people will be cooking more for sure, definitely,
Yeah.
which is a great thing.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you see are that are going to be some of the biggest changes once we're able to go out and start socializing? I mean, naturally, we're in an industry that, as you sort of touched on before, we're in an industry that specializes in doing one thing really well, and that's bringing people together for experiences.
Right.
That's what food is. It's an experience that brings us all together. That is a necessary factor in an everyday life.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I've heard lots of different rumors about what the industry might look like, what a restaurant might look like moving forward. I mean, if you've got a table for two, people are going to be sitting in front of each other. If you have a table for four, there's going to be plexiglass between those two people. And then on top of that, you have physical distancing. So 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart in any dining room. Well, let's be honest, you're not fitting a lot of patrons in that restaurant. You're not just selling food, you're selling seats.
Right.
So when you're able to fit 30% of your capacity into a restaurant and it still costs the same amount to run that restaurant, what do you think the industry is going to look like? What do you think are going to be the biggest changes?
To be honest, man, before I get into that, did you see that photo where they had pods outside? And I think it was Amsterdam, or where was it? Do you remember where it was?
No,
Because
no.
what I don't understand about that is if we go back to restaurants and everything, and there is social distancing, how are restaurants going to make the money to pay the rent and pay everything? Like you need to make as much money as possible. For me, I do live demos, I do catering, and I
Yep.
doubt there's going to be large gatherings for a while, which is why I'm trying to pivot everything online.
Mhm.
But I think it's going to look very scary, man. And everyone keeps talking about returning to normal, but it's going to be a new normal for sure.
Yep.
And I think everyone has to do what they can to start pivoting. Like we had a virtual tasting last night for a very popular wine company with View the Vibe. And they sent all the food and it was really well curated. Everything is live. Everything is Zoom calls now
Yeah.
because we don't know when it's going to be safe. And I'm staying with my parents as well. So I'm very hesitant to go anywhere and see anybody
And
else.
you and I certainly have our spots throughout the city where we have our favorite bites, our favorite things to eat, things that we crave. And not all of them are able to facilitate places or companies like Uber and delivery systems, right? Um, I mean, do you know much about ghost kitchens?
I don't know much about them, but I know that the premise and I know that they're popping up everywhere.
Yeah, they certainly are. And it feels like that type of business model may be successful in the future. What we're dealing with now is just so uncertain and it's hard. And I know you're like me in the way that seeing some of these places where some of your favorite things to eat in the city are just going to disappear.
Mhm.
They're really going to disappear. And that's somebody's life work.
Right.
That's not just that burger. That's not just that Scotch egg or that cookie. That's somebody's life work. And
Mhm.
it's being taken from them.
It's very sad, super sad, man. Empires are going down and also the mom and pops are going down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. And all we can do is try to do our best to support that, right? But ultimately, the margin is so tight that it's literally impossible, right? That's
Uber
why I
Eats.
kind of liked your story because I feel, we do need to have a little bit of light or shed a little bit of light on the doom and gloom and say, hey, you took a negative and turned it into a positive and found something that is helping people, the everyday person, and bring out the inner chef in them and say, you can do this. You can do this with what you have in your kitchen,
I,
and support and feed their family as well, right?
I was gonna say though, when I started, like I didn't know this was gonna happen. Like I was just putting out videos and then it like morphed into something else. Like it got so big so quickly. I just thought it was the right thing to put out videos.
Yeah.
And then like people started commenting and responding and started cooking them. And then I got really inspired. So now I'm putting up videos all the time, at least 5 a week. And partnering up with Dairy Farmers of Ontario, Johnsonville, Stove and Dove Cast Iron, like a ton of different companies. Nuts for Cheese. It goes on and on. So it's pretty exciting. Very exciting.
I got to commend you and thank you because you've not only have you risen to the occasion, you've helped continue to inspire people throughout the industry. People that you at one point or still do look up to are now looking at you going, wow, this is really beautiful what he's doing.
Right.
This is inspiring and continuing the hype and continuing the love for food. It's just keeping that spark, you know, and there's a lot of people that are really doing a great job at it, and you really definitely come to mind. So thank you for doing that and continuing to do
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
The least I could do.
I wanted to, I was watching one of your videos, and you had a giveaway for your apron.
Yes.
And I thought, I'm like, look at this guy, you know? Can you tell me about your aprons?
Okay, so there's a girl named Seema. She reached out to me and she was working on these ethical aprons. So basically what it is, these aprons are made from recycled material in India. The factory where they make them, it employs women. It gives them a safe place to work. For every apron that's purchased for $65, 100 meals get fed to those in need out there as well. So it's such a good look. So what I did was a few videos in, maybe 4 or 5 videos in, I called her, I bought 10, and I'm just giving them away like hotcakes, which is exciting.
That's amazing.
No, I mean, I just really enjoy chatting with Devan, and I know he's got an interesting story, and I've been fortunate enough to work with him for many years with the Food Dudes and through other events, and to see the evolution of what he is as a chef, as a person, as a role model, as a mentor to many, as a teacher, as just a very good person to look up to within this industry. And I've loved watching the evolution of your brand as well. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. I couldn't be more proud to know you as a friend.
This is being recorded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can use this at a later date. Yeah. Yeah.
You have evidence, hard proof.
Yeah.
I love it. It's funny, when I went to Food Dudes, I basically worked directly with Dan. It was him and I and Davo, but you definitely took me under your wing for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
I was happy to do that.
And you taught me to add lemon zest to everything.
No, that was Adrian. Adrian loves his lemon zest.
You were whole grain Dijon.
No, that was duct tape. Remember duct tape.
So what's next for you, Devan? Like, where do you see this all going? What's your hopes for the future?
I have soups that are going to Longo's. They're being tested right now for shelf stability. On top of that, I'm doing a digital cookbook. I'm giving it away for free. And I'm just trying to build up these videos, transfer them to YouTube. I start filming horizontally next week. And then just sponsorship. Just keep it rocking.
This is new, like what we're trying to do here, right? And it's essentially talking to real chefs, people that have been affected by this. And just, like I said, shine some light on some positive things that are happening in the world versus the sadness that could take over, right?
Thank you for taking the initiative, though.
Yeah. So, and Dan and I, we work with different companies, but we like to collaborate on a lot of things. And even though we are kind of like competitors, we have this friendship, I guess, that we support each other. So,
And that will be the case for a very, very, very long time. I mean, it's a collaboration where why go to one place and only see X, Y, and Z when you can go to one place and see A through Z.
Yeah.
It's so easy to become complacent and not want to do anything when you're no longer bringing people together.
Mm-hmm.
Chefs are all naturally, we're all show-offs, all of us. We want to show off our love for food. That's what we've always done. That's what drives us every day. It's what all of us have a little taste of. And when you can't do that anymore, that's hard. That's heartbreaking. So to stay inspired, you guys are definitely making a difference for that. And I was sincere when I thanked you. I'm not just doing that for this TV show.
Much love. Much love.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, I guess we'll end it here. But